So when I won this, I'm gonna go deep into it. When I got the email, I was sitting in the van because I work at a recovery center. I'm like a tech slash group therapist for a recovery center here in Hudson. So it was about maybe midday. I'm sitting in the van and I'm listening to the song I just dropped, All in My Head, which I dropped March 3rd. I get an email and it said I won Dream of the Year, and I just started crying, like just bawling, like just tears, because the song All in My Head, it's about when 10 years ago I was depressed, where I was just out of it. I didn't trust anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to, deal with anybody. I thought everything was evil. I thought everyone was just a liar. So, I used to just stay in my room all the time, talking to no one, not my family, not my friends. And I really distanced myself from the world. And listening to the song, I was just proud of just putting the song out, um, to show, where I've been mentally, and where I've came from, and at the same time getting the award. At the same time, I'm listening to it for the first time on the radio. That not the radio, but on the box as it being out. So just so many emotions, was going through me. I didn't know what to feel, but um, then he said he wanted me to write a speech. I said, "Wow, Dave, man, Dave's always." The thing about Dave is so, like, he's so calm, so smooth, but he challenges you. Like, he just challenges you, in ways where it just makes you wanna, better yourself, and grow. So I looked at it as a challenge, in a great way. Like, okay, I gotta write a speech. So I'm just listening to so many speeches. Like, how do I start this? What do I say? Do I talk about myself? Do I not talk about myself? And to this day, I still don't know how to do a speech, but I'm just gonna, flow in the heart. I wrote some things down that I kind of wanted to do. Um, but first, I want to thank Stereotype Dave. I want to thank you for allowing not just myself, other creators to express themselves through collaboration, through merch, through just a community. Like, there's a bunch of us here, through Stereotype, and we're all pushing our own dreams, but we're all dreaming together, and not just inspiring ourselves or each other. We're inspiring many, thousands and hundreds of people. So Dave, Stereotype, I thank you for that, and thank you for this award.
Thank you.
Everyone has supported. Um, so I titled this speech "Who, What, When, Where, Why." Um, and if you can, you don't have to. You can repeat after me. This is something I like to do with my kids in the morning. I like to say, "I am happy. I am healthy. I am successful. I am peaceful. I am favored. I am blessed. I am free. I am mentally free. I am emotionally free." Um, you're probably thinking, like, why? You probably wouldn't think who. Probably wouldn't think where. You probably wouldn't think when. You probably wouldn't think what, because those four W's, you can answer that in a one word answer, but when a person hears why, they go into maybe not panic mode, they go into a defense mode, because we don't get asked the question why more than we should. And I think is an issue, because someone can say something, but if you don't ask why, you really don't know what they're saying, or you really don't know what is behind whatever it is being said. You can answer who, you can say a person's name. What, you can say whatever it is in 1 to 2, 3 words. Where, you can say a location. But why, you have to really dig deep to actually give an explanation of whatever it is. So, me, I always had the question why throughout my whole life. And, it kind of started when I was like 11 years old. I was 11 years old, and I used to live in Colorado, New Jersey. And at the time, I was in sixth grade. I was driving my bike to ShopRite, and I was excited just to, my mother allowed me to go to ShopRite. It was kind of like far away from the house, so I was excited just to get on my bike and just ride away. I didn't have anyone watching me, so I'm driving to ShopRite. Um, I'm in the ShopRite parking lot, and I see my next door neighbor's uncle, and my next door neighbor's uncle, he was like the best guy in the world. Like, he played with the kids. He shot hoops with us, kickball. football. He rode bicycle with us. He did everything with us where we looked at him like he was the best person in the world. So as I'm riding my bike, I see him in the parking lot, like walking to a car with, I thought, his mother or his grandmother, someone, elderly. So in the mix of me seeing him, I'm thinking in my head, like, should I call his name? Should I ride to him? Or should I just keep going? So in the mix of me, having these thoughts in my head, long story short, he kind of steals the car of the lady. So he had the lady open the back trunk to put her groceries in. She goes to the trunk, opens it up. Then after they're done putting the groceries, she closes it, and he goes in the car and just steals it. So I'm 11 years old, looking at a man who I looked at as like a hero, and it kind of fucked me up. Excuse my language. It kind of messed me up to the point where I asked the question, why? I asked the question, why? Like, why did this man do this when, everyone around us, as kids, we look at him like he's, somebody we want to be. He's a happy person. Why did he do this? And from that day, I had the question of why for everything, because I looked at this man, and then I understood, not consciously, but I understood that sometimes we are not who we think we are, or people are not who we think they are. So, with that being said, growing up, I always had the question, why? And I say that to bring it to this collab. When I won, Dream of the Month before self-reflection. At the time, I was going through a crisis of working a warehouse job that I did not want to work. I was being upset about it. I wasn't really taking my artistry very, very, very serious that I should have been. I just didn't know what to do, where to go. I didn't think, I had the support or the acknowledgement that I felt that I wanted or needed. Then I won Dream of the Month, and I'm like, wow, maybe I'm being acknowledged. Maybe I'm just thinking that I'm not. So then I asked, why? Why did I win? Still ask the question to myself. I didn't ask Dave. I was appreciative of it. Why? And not in a negative way, just in a way where I just want to understand, because that effect that I happened at 11 years old, it kind of, I wouldn't say traumatized me, but it just made me question almost anything and everything. So I won Dream of the Month. I met with Dave, and it just inspired me. It inspired me to one. It gave me a sense of responsibility. It gave me a sense of like you know what? Maybe your dream, your vision is actually rubbing off on people, and they're understanding it, and they're acknowledging it, and they like it, and they support it. Maybe you're just being hard on yourself. Okay. So going to Panera, sat with Dave. I had in my brain self-reflection. I wanted to just do like just words, and maybe some have like a mirror where you can see yourself, right? But like Dave was like, nah, man, that's not, it's dope, but it's not really. So we got to the drawing board. I thank Dave. If it wasn't for Dave, the whole design, it wouldn't be what it was. So we got to the design. We both loved it. Like, we were just going back and forth off each other with ideas. And once I left Panera, I don't want to go into too depth of everything. I want to make it all make sense and not waste all your time by talking too much, because sometimes I have that problem. But we got the design, and I left Dave, and I called my brother. I said, maybe I'm an artist now. I'm being acknowledged by one, Staten Island. I live in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. I'm getting acknowledged from a brand in Staten Island, who I won Dream of the Month. Like, it was a huge big thing to me, right? But I still ask, why? So the whole, you get a design, you state the name, and then I ask myself, why self-reflection, right? Like, why not just Mel The Prophet, or why not anything that would pertain more to me than someone else, right? So I wanted not just a design, but the whole collab to be about the person who purchased the collab, or who saw it or supported it, right? I wanted it to be about them more than it was about me, because sometimes my heart, overpowers my mind, and I just want to just have a grand heart, and I think I can just show everyone in the world love, I really feel that way. So I said, self-reflection, where that's kind of all I do. All I do is just self-reflect. I just analyze, my good, my bad, and I always ask why. So I said, all right, this collab, I want this collab to be about everyone else. And like Dave said, I'm not all for money like that, but obviously money, you need money. So I said, if I can have a brand or a collab where it's about the other person, the whole world's gonna buy it, and the whole world's gonna just self-reflect and understand themselves in a way where they may not understand themselves, and the world's gonna be better. That's in my head, right? So we do the brand self-reflection, and at the time it was right before the pandemic. So once the pandemic hit, I asked why is this happening? And I went, I kind of went into a hiatus where I didn't want to speak to anybody. I was just going through a depressive mind because of the new reality that we were all dealing with. And at the time, I had self-reflection out, but at the same time, I had to keep asking myself, why? Why is everything happening? Why did I just win Dream of the Month, and a month or two later, this happens? Like, no one's gonna support this. No one's gonna want to buy any merch. No one's gonna want to buy a shirt that's not essential to what they need for the time. But that was the time where I realized, like, this is the perfect time the world needs to self-reflect. So in my mind, I said, I'm going to push this in the world every minute, every hour, every person, not for me, not for, Mel The Prophet, but so they can self-reflect and understand themselves better rather than just support collab or support me. So that was my main intention with self-reflection. I wanted people to see the design, because the design, if you saw it, it was eagle, a sun, and a moon. Because at the end of the day, we all have a dark side, we all have a light side, regardless of what we choose to show or what people know. We all have a dark side, all have a light side, and the eagle is just a bird flying through the middle of it. And when you look at the pandemic, that's all we were. We were just in the middle of dark and light, not knowing where to go. And I felt like the eagle would just inspire someone seeing it, like, that's me. Look at it and think about themselves. And everyone here has been through a hard time. Everyone here has been on a high mountain feeling like nothing bad can happen to them, and all in between. So that was the main objective of self-reflection. And it was very difficult because, like, so much was going on during the pandemic, but I felt like this was perfect for me to push, because my brand is love, and with love, all I desire is for people to find eternal peace, because it was so hard for me to find eternal peace, not just from the trauma from being a lever just my whole life, going through what I went through. So I wanted people to ask why rather than who, what, when, and where, because that's the common thing we do: who, what, when, where. We always ask that. Who's the pandemic gonna affect? Where is it affecting people? When did it start? When is it gonna stop? What really is it? But no one was really asking why. And I feel like when you just self-reflect, you just dive into why. And why puts pressure, like whatever you say, if someone asks you why, you have to actually think about the intent of whatever you're saying, doing, or expressing. So that would give people the initiative to have an intent, not just to have an idea, and I just wanted to inspire anyone and everyone to be themselves, because at the same time, for me as well, I wanted to be more of myself when sometimes I felt like I wasn't. And I feel like this collab challenged me to do that in ways where, in hindsight now, it put me on the forefront of, like, who, are you really going to be who you say you're going to be, or are you going to be someone just wanting to do it but not really become that person? So I thank Dave, because I a lot of the dark side of me has decreased. A lot of the dark side of me has gone away. I have faced it. I have learned so much about myself because of self-reflection. And I wanted to do a song because I felt like music is the world, and I wanted to put this collab into a song because I felt so inspired of just winning the collab that I said this has to go into a song. And it took me about 3 weeks to write the song, and it took me about 3 times to record it, like 20 hours just sitting there and re-recording it, recording it. but I say that to say is my why was to inspire. My why was to get people to understand themselves. So in the case of just say a pandemic or any tragedy happens, you, whoever you are, you're striving to be yourself rather than striving to be a victim, or you rather than striving to be a victim. You're striving to be yourself, and in the case of being yourself, you're gonna be whoever it is that you're gonna be. And I think self-reflection is something that we all had to do, regardless if we seen a collab or know the collab or you heard the song. The whole world had to self-reflect in some type of form or fashion. So I was just honored, and just being here today to win this award. It's still shocking to me, honestly. Like I don't really see how hard I go. I feel like I can go harder. It's just amazing, honestly. It's amazing to be acknowledged. It's amazing to be inspired and to inspire and to be around in a community that inspires. When I see the people posting in the collab, it inspires me. Inspires me. People post like it just inspires me, and I'm just grateful. Like my gratitude is on a high just for being in this room, for being in this community, for winning this award. As much as I'm appreciative of this awards and things like that, like it really doesn't mean much to me. The more people that become better, that means the world to me. So Dave, thank you. Stereotype, thank you. Everyone that supported, thank you. Everyone that's doing what you're doing, all the stories and speeches. I love it because you're telling your why. You're not just telling on face value or whatever your collab is. You're telling your why your collab is what it is. And I think if we all just remember the why, the who, what, when, and where would not really matter. So, thank you.